PLARIUM released yesterday a teaser on the upcoming clan versus clan PvP game mode, guys, and I really think that they've overdone it. I feel like this might be the nail in the coffin for a lot of you guys out there and for a lot of clan leaders, because it really feels like it's going to be a full-time job. Now we have a bunch of different things in the game that are really taking our time every single day. If we're talking about Hydra, if we're talking about different things, they tend to take a very, very long time. And I feel like right now with the new game mode coming and seeing how complex it's actually going to be, I honestly was not expecting them to make it as complex as it is. And I feel like they said, either we go big, either we go home. And it's not a problem that they've made a solid game mode, okay? I have no complaints about that. But what I do want to kind of like mention is I do think that they need to work on different areas of the game to basically reduce the time spent in game. So like this, we're actually going to have a chance to play the new game mode without feeling like people will basically get burned out. So what I want to do in today's video, guys, I will share a couple of different ideas that I have on how they can reduce some of the time issue that we have in the game. And I do want to basically have a quick look at the video to kind of like walk you through some of my thoughts about the new clan versus clan game mode. I do think that is going to be too complex. Now, there are top clans in the game that don't even do Hydra, okay? There are top clans that don't even do Hydra. They just don't participate much in the game because it's such a time sink. And imagine adding something that's gonna take even more time to the game, you know, and not reducing anything else. It will definitely be pretty damn crazy. So a lot of people say that it's gonna be like Synthranos. Basically, it will probably have like roads that will lead to bigger buildings that you gotta attack, which is pretty interesting. I was not expecting to see it as complex as I mentioned before, but it's gonna be a big. This is a massive magnitude in terms of whatever content they've dropped in the last few years. I feel like nothing really comes close to this one, because this will not be something that you're gonna do for one day. Okay, you're gonna have preparation days. You're gonna have days where you deploy. You're gonna have days where you attack. You're gonna have days for the settlement where other people attack, and they've added a lot of resources that can buff or debuff your teams, which is standard in every single game that has this type of clan versus clan PvP. But it's definitely going to be a big one, like seeing how many teams we can actually deploy. I really expected that maybe they're going to make it in a way where everybody can deploy one team, not multiple teams and stuff like this. That's why I really think it's going to be way too complex.
At its core, Siege is a new game mode that pits clans against each other in fierce PvP combat. We're talking intense battles, complex strategizing, clashes on multiple... The Clan Fortress. This towering citadel is your clan's base of operations, and it's your job during a siege to defend it from attack, while simultaneously conquering...
Like, look, you have the prep phase, however long that's going to take. Probably is going to take a day or maybe 2 days. They're introducing tons of new currencies that will overwhelm the majority of the players. And seeing how many teams we can actually deploy in all this is a bit crazy, right? So you're going to be able to probably do 2 attacks. You're going to be able to put two teams in defense. The leaders and the deputies will be the ones that will get the burnout, okay? The rest of the players can just go in here. If they want to attack, they attack. If no, the leader is going to shout at them, why haven't you done your attack today? Or stuff like that. But the people that really need to organize this, leaders, deputies, will definitely get a massive burnout, because there is a lot of stuff to prepare. Thinking about debuffs, thinking about buffs. What team should I put where? Which team is the best to defend this? Let's level up this. These people don't want to work on it. So it's going to be a lot of stress and so much drama in the clan community.
Your opponent's fortress. At its core, the clan fortress...
Like, look, the map is massive, okay? It looks awesome. I think it's a dope game mode. Personally, I love it. I'm a massive fan of PvP and seeing something as complex. But I feel like the majority of the players don't have the time to put into this game mode if it takes multiple days and if it needs so much preparation. You know, I feel like it's going to be too complex.
Fortress is a collection of different buildings and locations joined together.
Like, only to start with, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different buildings. 4 you can level up. the post stays the same. It's gonna be a lot of work.
Together by a network of interconnecting paths. One crucial thing to keep in mind, the layout of the clan fortress is exactly the same for every clan. All the buildings and the paths between them remain the same across each siege. The strategy and customization comes from which buildings your clan chooses to upgrade. To do that, buildings your clan chooses.
So what was here? Victory reward, building protected, so you're getting all sorts of different materials.
Which buildings your clan chooses to upgrade. To do that, you'll require 2 resources unique to Siege, Florins and Mana Orbs. You'll earn both of these as rewards for actions completed during a siege, but everyone will receive an initial stockpile so they can start developing their fortress ahead of their first battle. Any clan member can donate Florins directly to a specific building.
So basically, we're earning currency by participating. We're going to donate it to the clan. The clan is going to upgrade the buildings. You got to upgrade your main building first. It's basically like playing a Clash of Clans in terms of the way you're upgrading your buildings. Or every other game that's like that, always the Town Hall, the Siege Hall will basically be the main building. The rest won't be able to have a higher level than the main building. So it's pretty much the same sort of thing in here. The thing is, you're going to get a lot of different debuffs like this. And they are making some very interesting things that I was not expecting to see. This is very standard in every single game that has a game mode like this. And I know a lot of people think that this is coming from Watcher of Realms. Watcher of Realms just copied it from other games that made it. Watcher of Realms did not innovate this thing. Hell no. Okay, so this is not from Watcher of Realms. But it might be similar. I haven't played the actual game mode in Watcher of Realms to really pay attention to every single detail, but this is pretty much the same in most of the games, just so you guys know. It's not something coming from Watcher of Realms, though.
There's bonuses and conditions, which we'll discuss a bit later. Moving on, let's talk fortress real estate. The Stronghold is the heart, brain, and nerve center of a fortress. It determines the maximum level of all buildings on a fortress layer. Fortress layers, each with a new set of buildings and a strong...
So they're planning to add an extra fortress layers, okay? Which is gonna be just crazy. They're gonna make this map even bigger in the future. It could be nice. Who knows? Maybe they're gonna make the clans bigger. I'm not sure what other things they are planning for the clans. But just seeing how massive this map is, and I can guarantee you, this piece of content will overwhelm 95% or 99% of the player base when they release it. And even after, for a long time, it will completely overwhelm the player base, because it's a... I know I said it many times already, but it's a very complex game mode, you know, and making it even bigger, I feel like it's just basically
Stronghold also
getting
provides
a part-time job next to the full-time job.
Bonuses can only be deactivated if an enemy manages to destroy the building where it originates from. A building counts as destroyed if all the teams defending it are defeated during a siege's battle phase. To reactivate the bonus for future sieges, you will need to repair the building using florins. While destroyed...
So basically, if somebody destroys your building, for the next match, you're still gonna have to invest florins into it to repair it. If you cannot repair it, if you don't have enough florins, because maybe your clanmates are not playing it, you're not gonna be able to deploy troops in there. I feel like this might not be necessarily the best choice to constantly have to repair them. I feel like it will definitely ruin the experience for the more casual players, because they won't have time every single time to participate in it. And the next time when they might be ready to participate, their buildings might be knocked out because they did not have enough flooring to repair them, you know? So I feel like this, it should just automatically refresh in the new match without you having to do anything.
Sometimes taking a detour around a particular post is a better tactical decision than bashing your head against it.
You see, plan it carefully,
let's
so
return
that
to
takes
those
time.
special
That
battle
takes
conditions
time.
I mentioned earlier. At the beginning of a siege, each individual post will receive 3 random conditions from a wide pool. Like with bonuses, your stronghold level determines how many conditions you have access to.
So this is an interesting thing to stop people from using dupes and OP teams. I think it's a great idea from PLARIUM. Use only champions from these 2 factions, or only defense champions can be used, or no revivers, etc. So this is the thing that I kind of like wanted to point out. I think it's a pretty interesting idea overall to have something like that. I do think that in some cases where people don't have champions from this, it will be hard for them to set a defense team or an offense team, whatever we have in here, you know. So I do think that they shouldn't try to limit the champion pool too much, because it's gonna be the same like Curse City for a lot of people that might not have a big roster of champions, you know.
Conditions affect both defender and attacker, ranging from limiting the champions that
But you
can fight
can use
for a
dupes,
post
sorry, my
to
bad.
disabling entire
Dupes in different
effects
teams,
like
that's what I meant.
reviving or turn meter manipulation. With conditions, no two sieges will be the same. You don't have to be
Okay,
a
that's
clan leader
good.
or deputy to set a condition.
You don't want to see the same. You don't want to see the same 10 champions everywhere, because that's what is all over Arena, and people don't like it, right? So this creating a bit of an imbalance, to say like this, I think is a bad idea than just letting people run free with whatever champions they want.
So coordinate, plan, and strategize together with your clan to see which teams will work best, considering the conditions available.
So yes, do all that with the deputies and the leaders. Still, they're basically gonna get a burnout. I do think that is gonna be an amazing game mode for people that really share an interest towards PvP and clan versus clan. I think it's gonna be fun. I feel like not a lot of clans will actually really get invested into it because it's as complex as it is. I'm not sure the entire duration of the event, how often it's going to happen. I'm sure they will adjust it based on feedback from people and stuff like that. This game mode should be released in exactly 5 days, guys. Now, I do want to kind of like give a bit of feedback on different things. Leaving this on the side, I think it's going to be awesome, but it's going to be taking a lot of time. So what else can they do to reduce the amount of time we are spending in the game? Let's start with the very first things right here. They need to put a background farming mode for dungeons, and that includes every single dungeon that you guys see on the dungeon map. What does that mean? That means that you come here, you select your dungeon, you put your multi-battles, auto runs, whatever you guys have, and then you click on minimize or put it in the background. So while that runs in the background, you can just back out of here and go and play Siege, go and play Clan Boss, go and play Hydra, go and play Arena, go and play Doom Tower, or go and play the Curse City. Now, this is one of the things that it definitely needs to happen for this game. It's just so complex. It has so many different areas, layers over layers over layers. It just takes a lot of time. So this makes sense. That would be the #1 priority. That's what PLARIUM should do. Not a long time ago, they mentioned that they are planning to implement some changes to the Hydra Clan Boss and to the Hydra Clash. Basically, they said it's not necessarily the Hydra Clash that is the problem, it's just Hydra in general as a game mode. So Hydra Clash, Hydra keys take a lot of time. If I want to do my Hydra keys and I'm trying to maximize my score, it might take me 5+ hours every single week. That's a lot of time to manual Hydra Clan Boss. I know you can do auto, but you're not gonna get the maximum result, and it is what it is. So the #1 thing they should do with the Hydra, I hope they are cutting the turn count in half. 1,500 turns limit for the Hydra Clan Boss is just insane. You don't need that. 750 turns is more than enough for any team to get the job done on the Hydra Clan Boss. And if it's not, people will want to improve their teams even more. And that overall will make more people interested in working on their Hydra teams, because they're going to want to try to squeeze more damage. So they're going to use better builds or etc. You know, it literally makes no sense to have 1,500 turns in the Hydra and in the Clan Boss too. You know, of course, people that will get to that will just be people that are looking for world records in the Clan Boss. But in the Hydra, pretty much everybody's trying to aim for it. You know, so cutting that in half will already reduce the time that we are spending in the Hydra with the Hydra Clash by half, okay? On top of it, a lot of people that are looking at the game mode and are disgusted and they don't want to do Hydra probably will have a change of heart once they know, well, I don't actually have to spend 5 hours anymore. I can do it in 2 hours. That's definitely much better. You know what? I can dedicate the 2 hours a week to do my Hydra Clan Boss runs while my dungeons are running in the background, because I don't need to see that animation 5 years in over and over and over and over again, you know, because it is pretty tedious. Now, they've mentioned recently that they're not planning to bring the next difficulty for the Curse City anytime soon. People are just not ready for it, and it makes sense. Even at the very beginning, in the very first few rotation, I have no idea how many people actually beat Curse City because we haven't seen a total number of how many people beat all the stages. But I can definitely tell you that a very small amount of people. And another thing that I kind of like gave them as feedback is you have all of these stages where you only rely on stun sets. So when they are basically introducing the requirements for what factions and what champions you can use, they always need to keep it in the back of their mind. Well, we are giving the requirement for faction X, Y, Z, but we need to ensure that that faction has at least one crowd control champion, at least an AoE stunner, at least a provoker, something that people can work with, and they don't rely only on the stun sets. Because while this might seem unimportant, this takes a lot of time too. If you're going on one of the hard stages, probably I'm going to have to try this for half an hour just to beat this one stage, if I'm unlucky. If I'm lucky, I can get it done from the first try. But it's all about the stun sets. Is it going to land? Is it not going to land? Am I going to get a weak hit? Am I not going to get a weak hit? So there are a few things like this that they really need to address and change. The next one, in my opinion, would be Tag Team Arena. They need to make a 10x speed in Tag Team Arena. We don't need to see Classic Arena 3 times every single day, you know? Put 10x like all of the other gacha games have for this type of game modes that take a long time. You know, like if you want to do a Tag Team Arena fight with a full team versus a full team, it's probably going to take you 5 minutes per team. Maybe. Not on every single one. You're going to have speed farms. You're going to have ones that take you longer. Because the teams that are in these defenses, they're not all weak teams. A lot of them are very strong teams, and you need to strategize it a bit. You need to adjust your teams, and you need maybe to manual a couple of different teams and stuff. So they do take time, and this is a dead game mode anyway. People don't like doing this, you know, and there's a reason for it. There's a reason for it. It takes too long. It's nothing interesting. It's just Classic Arena by 3, basically. So having a 10x speed on this one or something instant battle for the entire game mode for the Tag Team Arena is another thing that they really need to look at implementing in the game in the future, because these are all things that they should be done. They need to show you, they need to show us that they value our time as players, you know, because I know a lot of you guys are saying raid is a job now, and I cannot disagree with you. Like, there's a lot of stuff to do in the game, and having the Siege as a new game mode, I feel like people should have the opportunity and the possibility to basically fully experience the new game mode without feeling burned out. That's kind of like my point. That's what I wanted to cover in today's video. I feel like if they're not implementing some of these changes, this might be the final nail in the coffin for a lot of players, and they will burn out and leave the game. So PLARIUM, please take note of some of the constructive feedback. Hopefully you're gonna come out in the next few weeks or so and share some news with us about how you're planning to basically tackle the time issue. I'm sure that's something that you guys have on your mind as well, and you're well aware of the entire situation. Let me know in the comments down below if you guys have different type of ideas. As usual, much love, appreciate all of you guys watching, and I'll catch you all in the next one. Peace.